The Great Depression is caused by four major things. You have tariffs not allowing international trade into the marketplace, so you can only buy American. That might sound good, but it causes high prices. You have banks doing greedy stuff with your money. There's a special video. It's by a guy named Andrew, and it's about how banks are a scam. He's not right, but if you can find it, it's like a unicorn. So the banks are doing greedy stuff. They're trying to make money, and they are speculating your money. You're speculating your money, and what that means is you are buying stocks with the idea that you will sell them for a higher price later. And this is causing the market to go up and up and up and up and up way too fast. And in 29, everyone realizes, holy crap, it's not worth that much money. And it crashes down. And now we've overproduced everything. So the prices are high. Nobody's got any money. The banks don't have your money because they've played with it and they've sent it all over the place. And so when everyone goes and gets it at once, it's not there and you're in the Great Depression.
Good thing I still got all my money. Whoa! What's going on, pal? Don't do it! You're gonna be fine!
I lost it all in the market. I'm gonna end it all. Well, that didn't work at all.
With the stock market crash of 1929, the entire economy takes a nosedive. Now, you just lost your money in the market because you overspeculated. Maybe even you bought on margin, where you paid 10% of the value, but then they wanted you to pay back 100 after the market collapsed. And so now all your savings is gone and you run to the banks. But like we said, the banks don't have your money, and unemployment is going to rise to 25%. That means 1 in 4 Americans who want to have a job simply cannot get one. And that is the breadwinners losing their jobs, and now they can't provide for their families, and everyone's going out to soup kitchens, and it looks like there's going to be nothing we can do. And so they turn to the president. They turn to Herbert Hoover, and Hoover says, you know what? You got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. He feels that if the government gives money directly to the people, it will ruin the people's rugged individualism. And if they don't have their rugged individualism, they'll never want to care for themselves again. Eventually, Hoover's going to cave in and he's going to do something. He creates something called the RFC, or the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. This did not give money directly to you. It gave money to banks. It gave money to businesses. The banks cleaned up their own accounts, the businesses invested their own money, and it never got to the people. So in 1932, we elect Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his New Deal. See, FDR's New Deal was based on the work of an economist named John Maynard Keynes. And Keynes said if the government spends money, the economy will be driven along. So FDR is going to change the way the government works.
I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised.
The New Deal is going to have the 3 R's: relief, recovery, and reform. Relief is going to give you a job right now, either building stuff with the WPA or the PWA, or planting trees and making America more beautiful with the CCC. Recovery is going to be programs like the NRA, the National Recovery Administration, where they do stuff like set a minimum wage, which wasn't around back then, believe it or not. They're also going to have something like the Agriculture Adjustment Act, or AAA. And this is to recover the whole economy by making crop prices go up. Remember, a lot of Americans are still farmers during the 1930s. The last is going to be reforms. And these reforms are going to be things like the SEC, or the Securities and Exchange Commission. Remember that the stock market started the Great Depression with the crash of 29. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Don't watch 2008. Spoiler alert. And then also, we're going to have something known as the FDIC that lets your money be protected in the banks. It's on every bank door. Check it out next time. Up to $250,000 now, as much less. So let's recover, reform, and of course provide relief right now. You all got government jobs. Also during this time period, you have a natural phenomenon known as the Dust Bowl. A lot of ground that should have never been farmed had been plowed up due to the technological advances in agriculture. And then when an extreme drought hit, because that's how that region of the country, the Midwest, hopefully the map shows up there, the Midwest, and the drought came and no rain came, and all the ground that had been plowed up and taken out of the earth flies everywhere into the air and causes a lot of health problems. And you throw this together with the Great Depression, so not only do you have an economic disaster, now you have a natural disaster thrown on top of it. Combined, it's really, really bad.
Are you sure I look okay? I can go put on some makeup.
You look fantastic, or I'm not Dorothea Lane. You're a migrant mother, right?
No, I live in Kansas City.
And towards the end of the Great Depression, you're going to have something known as court packing. See, our buddy FDR over here is getting really mad that the Supreme Court keeps finding his programs unconstitutional because in the Constitution, it doesn't really say the government's supposed to do that. And FDR believes that that's old and that we need to change. We need to adapt to the situation. So FDR comes up with something known as the court packing scheme. See, Congress would do pretty much anything FDR asked them to at this point until this. He asked Congress to pass a law that would raise the Supreme Court from 9 justices to 15 justices. And you got to think, Justices 10 through 15 are going to be guys that agree with FDR. He could do whatever he wanted. And America is like, whoa, buddy. That's a violation of separation of powers. That is way too much power in one spot. Remember, this is the only president to be elected more than twice. Twice. I can hold up the number 2, twice. And so America is fearful that FDR is getting too much power. And honestly, what really gets us out of the Great Depression is Adolf Hitler. Going into World War II is going to go from 25% unemployment all the way to 100% employment. Everyone who wants a job is going to have a job to win the war. And that will actually end the Great Depression.
He has no friends.